First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, double honors to the elders that rule well, and honors to Shalom to all the brothers out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. The reason I'm making this video, uh, first off, I should probably say this video, production wise is going to be bad, but I'm doing what I can, so just work with me. But I should say the reason that I'm doing this video, it's regarding the Planet of the Apes series, and not the newer ones that came out from 2001 and to now. I'm talking about the original 5-part series that came out in started in like 1968 and ran to like around the middle of the 1970s. Now I'm not sure if a lot of brothers have seen this series. I've only seen it recently, but basically it's really a series that you need to watch because in great ways it details, basically it's all about the nation of Israel, to be completely honest with you. And the apes are the nation of Israel, and that's who they're supposed to portray in the movie. And what actually got me interested in watching it was I was watching the elders in New York, GMS elders in New York, and I know I heard Elder Gabar mention it, and he was talking about Beware the Beast Man, which is actually apart from the first Planet of the Apes movie. And basically, the Beast Man is Esau, and the apes were warned in their sacred scrolls to not even deal with the Beast Man, to shun him and everything like that, if anybody's familiar with that. So that made me, interested. Like, well, maybe I need to check this series out if it's, references Esau and Israel and whatnot. So, I ended up watching the whole series, and I mean, it's amazing how, it follows the scriptures. So, basically, I'm going to play a clip here of the conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This is the fourth movie in the series. Fourth movies in the series. This is probably gonna be like an 8-minute clip. So I'm gonna play it. They're gonna go back and get some scriptures on it and see how it relates to prophecy and Israel, regaining control of the entire world. So we're gonna play it, and then we'll go through it and list some scriptures.
Caesar, your servant, your creature, your animal. But I saw you die. The king is dead. Long live the king! Tell me, Breck, before you die, how do we differ from the dogs and cats you and your kind used to love? Why did you turn us from pets into slaves?
Because your kind were once our ancestors. Man was born of the ape, and there's still an ape curled up inside of every man. The beast must be whipped into submission. The savage has to be shackled in chains. You are that beast, Caesar. You taint us. You poison our guts. When we hate you, we're hating the dark side of ourselves.
Take him. Go!
Caesar, this is not how it was to be.
In your view or mine?
Violence prolongs hate, hate prolongs violence. By what right are you spilling blood?
By the slave's right to punish his persecutors.
Caesar, I, a descendant of slaves, am asking you to show humanity.
But I was not born human,
I know. The child of the evolved apes.
whose children shall rule the earth.
For better or for worse?
Do you think it could be worse?
Do you think this riot will win freedom for all your kind? By tomorrow?
By tomorrow it will be too late. Why, a tiny, mindless insect like the Emperor Moth can communicate with another over a distance of 80 miles.
An emperor ape might do slightly better?
Slightly. What you have seen here today, apes on the 5 continents will be imitating tomorrow.
With knives against guns? With kerosene cans against flamethrowers?
There is fire, there is smoke. And in that smoke, from this day forward, my people will crouch and conspire and plot and plan for the inevitable day of man's downfall, the day when he finally and self-destructively turns his weapons against his own kind, the day of the writing in the sky, when your cities lie buried under radioactive rubble, when the sea is a dead sea and the land is a wasteland out of which I will lead my people from their captivity, and we shall build our own cities in which there will be no place for humans except to serve our ends. And we shall found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now! But now we will put away our hatred. Now we will put down our weapons. We have passed through the night of the fires. And those who were our masters are now our servants. And we, who are not human, can afford to be humane. Destiny is the will of God. And if it is man's destiny to be dominated, it is God's will that he be dominated with compassion and understanding. So, cast out your vengeance. Tonight, we have seen the birth of the planet of the apes.
Now, how cold is that? Now, for brothers of the truth, a lot of that doesn't really need to be explained, but we're gonna go into it anyway. But I don't know. I love that. I love that speech. The score afterwards. It's crazy. But and I know y'all wanted to see that Edomite get just destroyed with the butts of those guns, but there is a version out there like that. Just search on YouTube for it. But quick thing before we go into this, that's actually a different ending than what was originally going to be on it, because like I said, the original version, they actually destroy that Edomite with the butts of their guns, and there's not a whole lot of speech at the end. But what they did was they actually showed that version to a test audience, obviously full of Edomites at the time, and basically they didn't like it. They thought that was too dreary an ending, so they went back, changed it so the audience would like it more. Which is that's typical of the of Esau. They don't want to see themselves get that judgment. So they try to avoid it and make it like it's gonna be better. Like they're never gonna get that judgment, but they are gonna get that judgment. But let's go into this. A couple of things that were said on the video. Now I don't want you to be thrown off by me saying that the nation of Israel, is represented by the apes in this movie. Now, I don't want to give away too much of the series, especially if people are going to be planning to watch it or whatnot. But, I think as we all know, so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indians, we're always, looked down upon. Regardless of, where we're at in the world, basically, we're always looked down upon. So, it would be only right that we would play the part of the ape. You know what I'm saying? They always say that, especially about the so-called black man, that we're apes, monkeys, gorillas, swinging from vines in Africa. You've read, I'm sure you read the comments on the internet and whatnot. So how white these Edomites think of us. You know what I mean? So none of that's new. So, don't be offended by the whole ape thing. But one thing that was interesting in the beginning, the guy Breck, the Edomite, he was like, man was born of the ape, and when we hate you, we're hating the dark side of ourselves. Essentially that's where you have to pick up on the symbolism, because so-called black people clearly, we're before the so-called white man. Saying we gave birth to him. So him saying that he hates they hate the dark side of ourselves when they hate us is just saying, they hate the people that gave birth to them, essentially. And by hating us, it makes them superior. So, that's really it on that. They do hate us. They show us indeed that they hate us. They shoot us down in the streets. So it's clear that they hate us. But, all that goes back to, Jacob and Esau, and even prior to that, Cain and Abel. Moving on. The so-called black man, his name is McDonald, by the way. He had actually helped the ape Caesar earlier in the film. So that's why, they wasn't going at him like that. But he pretty much said, violence prolongs hate prolongs violence, and by what right are you killing? And Caesar's like, by the slaves' right to punish his persecutors. That's why I'm killing, because everybody wants to see their oppressor go down. We're gonna get some scriptures on that. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage which wherein thou wast made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So, I mean, everybody wants to see their oppressor get recompensed for all the evil that they put out. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, if you don't, you're a fool. I mean, clearly, you should want to see these Edomites lose power, which is definitely what's occurring now, and see them get their just due, which we all know is going to happen per the scriptures, and then you can see it in everyday life. Let me get one more scripture on that. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So, I mean, that's plain. Esau led us into captivity, hard bondage. It's only right that we pay him back. And the Most High is righteous, so it's going to be double. Okay, let's move on a little bit. Also, McDonald was like, he says that he's asking Caesar to show humanity and not kill Brett and the other humans that were alive at the time. And Caesar replies back that he wasn't born human. Well, clearly he wasn't. I mean, he was an ape. But what he was saying is, like I kind of spoke on earlier, we're not human to these people. They don't look at us as being human. They feel like they can shoot us down in the streets, oppress us, and nothing's wrong with that. The scriptures tell us that they speak wickedly concerning oppression. So, that's pretty much what it is. They don't look at us as being like them, even though we're above them and better than them and always have been. They don't look at us as being human. Give you a couple of quick scriptures on that. Deuteronomy 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. And that's what we are. No matter where we go, we're niggers, spicks, coons, savages, gorillas, apes. You name it. Esau has a word for you. And but this all of his prophecy. There's actually a site. You could do a Google search for it where it lists like numerous different epithets for different groups. So-called black man probably has the most. I mean, there's so many on there that I've never even heard of. Let me see that if I can name a few more. Moon cricket and I don't know, just a whole bunch. Okay, but you can go there and look for it. But and once you do that, it's clear to see that we're looked at as a byword, as a proverb among these nations. And it ain't just the so-called white man that calls us that. It's all these other nations outside of the nation of Israel. Let me get one more scripture on that. This is Psalms 44:14. Thou make us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. And that's what we are. When they see us, we're ridiculed to them. We're a joke to them. But the day is going to come when none of these heathens are even going to move their tongue against us. They're not going to be able to, because we're going to have these devils in subjection. All right, moving on. Caesar also mentions that the apes are going to rule the world one day, which we all know Israel is going to be coming back into power, and we are going to rule these nations, and we're going to rule them with a rod of iron. Get a quick scripture on that. This is Revelations 2:26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So we're going to rule these nations, and you know it's going to be hell for them. Be completely honest, it's going to be hell for them. You know, they're not going to be able to do the things that they used to do. It's definitely going to be a righteous rule. I mean, we're the nation of Israel. We're going to definitely do it righteously because that's what we were set up to do. But, you know, again, we're going to be in rulership. The kingdom of heaven is not for these other nations. It's for the nation of Israel, and the nation of Israel alone. All right, we're about to finish up here. Just a few more scriptures. Now, I really don't want to give away the series if people are planning to watch it, but there are a couple more things that should be addressed, and that Caesar said, and you know, watch it anyway. If you know prophecy, you know this things is going to happen anyway. You know, Caesar mentions that you know, when man essentially destroys himself, which we all know Esau is hell bent on destroying everybody and himself. You know, he basically says when you know the cities are buried under radioactive rubble, and the sea is dead and everything is a wasteland, that's when the nation of Israel is going to be put up on high. And it's what's going to happen.